My dear, I want to express my deepest and most sincere apology, one that comes from a place of painful reflection and genuine remorse. I'm truly sorry for cheating on you. When I look back now, I realize how incredibly good you were to me, consistently, wholeheartedly, and without hesitation. You trusted me with everything you had, with a purity and sincerity that are rare to find. And yet, despite being given something so precious, I couldn't value it. I broke your trust in the worst way possible. I shattered not only your confidence in me but also, in many ways, your faith in love and in people. No matter how many times I say I'm sorry, it will never feel like enough. No apology can undo what happened or erase the pain I caused. I know that. I can't change the past, though I wish every day that I could. I had the best person in the world by my side, someone who cared for me deeply, someone who loved me without conditions, and yet I failed to recognize your worth at the time. I took for granted the love that so many people spend their lives wishing for. Instead of honoring our relationship, I chased meaningless flings and momentary thrills, all while I already had something whole, fulfilling, and real with you. I behaved selfishly, without empathy or thought. I acted like a fool, a jerk who didn't care about the feelings of others. Back then, I only thought about my own desires, my own pleasure, and what I wanted in the moment. I didn't care about the consequences or the damage I was causing. You never deserved any of the pain I put you through. You were kind, patient, loyal, and completely devoted. You were everything a partner should be, yet I responded with arrogance, immaturity, and heartlessness. I'm not asking you to forgive me, because I know forgiveness may be something you can never give, and that's okay. I don't deserve it. I only want you to understand that life has already made me confront the consequences of my actions. I have received my karma, painfully and unmistakably. The universe returned to me the hurt I caused you, multiplied many times over, and through that, I finally understood just how terribly wrong I was. It took losing you, and facing the aftermath of my choices, to truly see the magnitude of the suffering I caused. The guilt I carry is heavy, and there are days when I can't even look at myself in the mirror. I feel ashamed of the person I was. I regret my infidelity, my arrogance, the lies I told, and the disrespect I showed you and our relationship. I'm grateful, in a painful way, that God or fate or the universe made me aware of my mistakes before I went on hurting more people. It forced me to stop, reflect, and realize how much harm I was capable of causing when I acted out of selfishness rather than love or integrity. I see now that I was never worthy of your kindness or your selflessness at that time. You didn't just give me your love, you gave me understanding, comfort, support, and trust. You tried your best in every way possible, and even when things were difficult, you stood by me. Yet I failed you. My actions were never a reflection of your worth, they were a reflection of my own immaturity, my flaws, and my inability to appreciate what I had. Please, my dear, never blame yourself for what happened. Don't ever think you were lacking in any way, because you weren't. You gave more than I ever deserved. And please, don't punish others for my mistakes. Not everyone is like me, not everyone carries the same selfishness or makes the same hurtful decisions. There are people out there who are loyal, dedicated, sincere, and capable of loving with the same purity and depth that you once gave me. You deserve someone like that. I genuinely hope and pray that you find a person who cherishes you, someone who understands your worth from the very beginning, someone who helps heal the wounds I caused. I know I can't erase your pain or undo my actions, but I hope these words can at least show you that I truly regret everything. I hope they convey how deeply ashamed I am of the person I was and how grateful I am for the lessons I've learned, lessons that came at the cost of your heart. I'm sorry once again, from the bottom of my heart. My dear, there's a confusion that keeps circling in my mind, something I've tried to understand from different angles but still can't fully grasp. Why do people wait for their exes? Why do they hold on to someone who has already walked away? It puzzles me because, in most cases, an ex is an ex for a reason. Two people tried to make a relationship work, gave it their time, emotions, and effort, and yet it still fell apart. When something has already been tested and proven incompatible, what makes people stand at the same door again, hoping for a different result? I'm not judging anyone's feelings, I'm just trying to understand the logic behind the emotional storm. I do understand one thing deeply: love doesn't obey logic. You can't simply switch it off like a light. There's no button we can press to erase memories or mute the heart. When someone has been a part of your life, when you've shared moments, secrets, laughs, tears, those attachments don't vanish overnight. The heart is fragile, and sometimes it is also incredibly naive. It whispers little hopes in the quiet moments, saying, "What if they have changed? What if things could be better this time?" This hope, irresistible yet deceptive, keeps people waiting. But the truth is, people rarely change in the ways we fantasize. A person's core nature, their patterns, their emotional habits, these don't shift easily. Yes, people can improve, grow, or learn, but expecting someone to transform entirely for the sake of a relationship is unrealistic. We cling to the illusion of change because the idea of letting go feels scarier than holding on to false hope. However, the reality is that genuine reunions, where both individuals evolve and rebuild something truly new, are rare exceptions, not the norm. In the vast majority of cases, the ex moves on. They find someone else, start a new routine, or simply choose a different path. And while one person is stuck reading the last chapter over and over, the other person is already halfway through a brand new book. That's why I always ask, what is the point of reading a book backwards? The story doesn't change just because you revisit the pages. The ending remains the same. We often forget that waiting for someone doesn't automatically create space in their heart for us. Just because you are waiting doesn't mean they want to return. And that's where the real pain lies, not in the breakup, but in the act of waiting, hoping, and hurting alone. Instead of being anchored to someone who is already part of your past, it's far healthier to take small steps towards your future. That future doesn't necessarily need to include someone new right away. It can simply be a journey back to yourself. I know it's easier said than done. Healing isn't a clean, linear process. It's messy, slow, and often frustrating. There will be days when you feel strong enough to move forward, and days when the memories pull you backward. But healing begins when we accept the truth: they are not coming back. And even if they did, what then? Do you really believe the same problems that caused the breakup would magically disappear? Our minds love crafting illusions, creating imaginary better versions of the past. We convince ourselves that the next time would be different. But more often than not, history repeats itself, sometimes even more painfully. I have seen it happen many times. People wait endlessly for their ex, clinging to hope, rewriting old conversations in their mind. Then, by some rare coincidence, the ex returns. At first, they feel relieved, convinced the universe finally listened to their longing. But soon, the same issues resurface, the same fights, insecurities, misunderstandings, and the relationship collapses again, often leaving deeper scars than before. That temporary reunion only proves what the breakup already tried to teach, that some stories aren't meant to continue. There is no wisdom in living in the past. Life only moves in one direction, forward, and if we keep walking backward, we miss everything waiting ahead. I believe wholeheartedly that there is someone out there meant for each of us. Someone who will understand us, respect us, and choose us consistently, not conditionally. But we can only meet that person if we stop circling this same emotional block and start moving toward new possibilities. Every relationship before meeting the right person is simply a lesson. Some lessons are painful, some beautiful, but all of them shape us into who we are meant to become. Instead of waiting for someone who has already completed their role in your story, it's better to learn the lesson they brought and move forward. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing yourself. It means giving yourself the chance to heal, grow, and eventually welcome someone who is truly right for you. And when that person arrives, someone who feels like home, not heartbreak, you'll look back and finally understand why it never worked out with anyone else.